Welcome to the Watchers. We're the Watchers now. We have a
Yes.
name.
Finally, we have a name. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm Victoria. I'm with Killer Shot Films.
And I'm Kevin Marable. I'm with theblackscript.com.
So good to see you. We haven't seen each other since we recorded about a month ago or something like
Yeah,
that. After I rambled so hard.
we had a lot to talk about last time. We talked about F1. We talked about magazine dreams. We even got into, some of our favorite horror films, Scream and whatnot.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of stuff
Okay.
last
Good.
time.
Good.
So this time we're going to try to condense it into, in
Under 2 hours.
yeah, try to package it neatly.
Okay. So let's get to it then. So we both saw the same things this
Yes.
in this month period that we wanted to talk about. And you go first. You tell me what you want to talk about first.
So I'm excited to talk about Weapons. I know we both went to go see Weapons, and this movie has been getting a lot of hype.
Yeah.
There's a lot of praise around Weapons,
Yes.
and in some cases, people are putting it above Sinners.
Um.
So
Yeah.
I do want to talk about that.
Yeah. I think that I don't know about you, but I don't think it's better than Sinners. I mean,
I'm,
you know,
I'm glad we're on the same level. I'm glad we're
yeah,
on the same page with that
yeah.
because I was gonna say
That's
it doesn't hold the flame to Sinners,
it's
but
just a different movie. It's a different
yeah.
type of movie, and I think that that's that competition that people want to create
Mhm.
around. It's a completely different type of film, right?
Right,
And
right,
I mean, Sinners affected me more because it was black men and women of color, and the story was about something that I obviously I'm going to resonate with more than somebody who's not black. So
hmm
somebody else might find weapons more impactful because maybe they have kids and their biggest fear is their children disappearing, right?
right, right.
So it could be something that is deeply moving to them. And so
Absolutely.
I think that some sort of blanket statement is not fair to the individual moviegoer, as far as like what's important. And then of course the almighty dollar is always gonna.
Yes, the movie was good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
myself. I really liked the movie. I just wanted to,
You want to get
talk.
that out of the way. You're like,
Yeah, yeah.
sinners is
But
don't
I
bring
definitely
sinners into it.
no, I definitely don't want to bring sinners into it. I just wanted to make it known that these are two totally different types of films, and there are some comparisons to Sinners as far as what the audience is saying, as far as where they rank it. But as far as the movie goes and the storyline, it's two completely different films.
Yeah.
But both films are amazing.
Both films are amazing. And I also think that if there's a list of films that I know I'll think of at the end of the year and go, what were the movies that I sat in the movie theater and was shook.
Right.
Sinners is number one. I mean, I cried during Sinners. Sinners made me cry. Like I had an emotional feeling and reaction, and I was in awe of the filmmaker and the actors. And I saw it more than once, and I read up about it, and there was something evocative and powerful about it.
Right.
Weapons,
There was
right?
a lot to unpack there.
There's a lot to unpack.
With weapons, there's a lot to unpack as well.
Yeah, but I don't feel the same sort of draw
Right.
to dig in and even see it again. But I
Yeah.
did love it in the movie theater. First of all, the theater was packed. I don't know about your theater. Um,
My maybe it's where I'm at because my theater was not packed. I went in the middle of the day on a
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah, me too.
I figured that it would be busier than normal.
Yeah,
Walking into the theater itself, not the theater that's showing the movie, but the movie theater, AMC theaters,
yeah.
uh, it was kind of a ghost town, believe it or not.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
and there was probably a good 20, maybe 20 seats full. The rest were empty. Um,
Wow, what a different experience. Yeah,
But that's how I like my movies, honestly, where it's
yeah.
quiet. I get to enjoy it. People aren't talking around me. There's not a lot of rustling with, food, plastic, and whatnot.
Let me tell you,
So,
my theater was packed, and
yeah.
I had to like. I was trying to go with a friend of mine, and I couldn't get two seats together.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
mean, I was looking for times. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this time. I went to the theater. I went down to 34th Street instead of 42nd Street. And, it was packed. I was sitting between these two guys because I was like, um, I'm seeing this movie this weekend. You know what I mean? Like that was happening.
Yes.
And at
Yeah.
one point, Kevin, I grabbed my man next to me. I didn't even know him. That's like, I was like, I'm so sorry. I grabbed him because I got
Yeah.
scared. You know what I mean?
Now we're going to talk about that, but when we get to that scene, please tell me what
I
scene it was.
will. I will.
Yeah.
It was, I just a good, okay. So yeah, you know, a good horror movie to me has a theme, has things about it, things around it that it's
Right.
asking you that's tapping into, right? That it's connecting to your fears.
Hmm.
But also it has to like look good and it has to have interesting characters and it has to do things differently. And that's what I felt like this movie did. I mean, I don't know if you saw his earlier movie, um,
Barbarian.
Barbarian.
I did.
Oh
I watched
God.
Barbarian. I watched Barbarian. It was one night on a whim. I was bored,
Yeah.
and it was available on demand. And I was like, you know what? Let me just cut this on. I read some good things about it, but I
Yeah.
wasn't quite sure what it was about or anything. And I just needed something to watch. So I pressed play, and it sold me. I didn't know what to expect. I went in going in without any knowledge, any background knowledge, really.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed this film. And I did not realize until right before I went to the theater that it was the same director. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Zach
I,
Krieger is his name. Zach Krieger.
yes.
Yeah,
And
and he's very good. And you know that movie did well, and it was a
mhm,
great movie.
mhm,
Also very like tied to a very basic fear, right?
right,
You get an Airbnb, and then something goes wrong, and it's not just that somebody's in the house, but it's all manner of craziness. And I don't want
right.
to spoil the movie, but so I've been hearing about this movie the bidding war that went on for this
Oh,
film
man.
was really
Yes.
intense, and like Ryan Coogler wanted this movie. Like the script was really sought after, and I listened to something. I love this podcast called The Big Picture uh,
Mhm,
with Sean Fennessy is his name, and he interviewed him and talked about he wrote this film uh, because it was about grief, and he had lost somebody he worked with, a colleague and a friend, and he wrote it just not even knowing where the story was going, which I thought, oh, I
wow.
love that so much. He just
Right.
started it and just went, and the story informed him in a way. He was just like a conduit,
Hmm.
which is just fantastic. And it to me, like I said before, I don't have children, but I can't imagine what kind of fear just you wake up and your kid is gone. You
Yeah.
know, that's terrifying, right?
Right. Yeah. But not even just the kid being gone. The fact that you actually watch it happen and
What?
play it back time and time again
Over
on
and
the screen
over and
camera,
over and
and you
over.
you don't know where your kid went.
Yeah, you don't know. So okay, so let's spoilers, right? Um, so let's see if we can just break down the plot. The plot is kind of intricate, right? So the plot is 17 children disappear
Right.
one middle of the night,
Hmm.
and there is literally a witch hunt for what happened to these kids.
Right.
And there is a teacher that is suspected, and there is one boy in the class that didn't disappear, and
Yes.
he is an,
Two survivors.
two survivors.
Hmm.
And what's interesting about the story is when I first started watching it, I thought I can't remember the character's name.
Julia Gardner.
Julia Gardner's character, the teacher,
Uh-huh.
was annoying. She annoyed me, like
Her name is Miss Gandy.
Miss Gandy. I was like, Miss Gandy, back up, calm down, Miss Gandy. Why,
Yeah.
why are you? Why, like, she was so inserting herself into the situation when
Hmm.
I guess if you're innocent, you would want to be, there and say, let me answer your questions, let me. But one thing I have to say about these characters, they were all very complicated, right? They were not one note.
Yes. Right. But I want to back up just a little bit
Yeah,
and say that I, even though she was very, wanting to know more in your face, and inserting herself, I feel like and this is for her character, but for all of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
there were certain things that were left out until the time was right for you to know about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there was a reason why she wanted to dig a little deeper. Obviously, she was having a little bit of survivor's grief or survivor's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted somebody to relate to,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
leading up.
though she also was she also, I think the principal said, she had some boundary issues,
She did.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and
And we find out more about that later in the story
yeah,
as
she was what looked like had a drinking problem, and um, she was a very real, flawed person, right?
well.
And
Mhm.
and I really liked that. I liked that every character seemed very human, right? And they didn't sort of make
Right.
excuses for it. She wasn't like she was like in a less sort of like realized story. The character would be like seeking recovery, right? Because that would be
Right.
the flaw that they're trying to fix. She wasn't even worried about it. You know what I mean? She's just like, I'm gonna go and drink my 2 bottles of vodka every night and stumble to the to the bedroom. Right?
Right.
It wasn't even addressed. It wasn't even
No.
like addressed. It was just who she was.
But I think a part of that was due to the fact that she was dealing with this issue of these 17 kids disappear from her classroom. She survived, and only one other student survived.
I
And
don't
so
know. The
I
boyfriend
think
was in recovery. The ex-boyfriend was in recovery, which leads me to believe that
yeah,
they used to be that
a thing.
couple at the bar.
Potentially, yes. They didn't
They
really
didn't,
answer that
yeah, they didn't,
question.
they didn't answer it. But I mean, she walked in. I mean, excuse me, not walked in. She was in there, and he walked in. Like it just seemed very
Right.
familiar, right?
Right.
Right, it
Yes.
seemed like this is the way they interacted, and that was their sort of like little dance. Have one with me. No, I'm in recovery. Okay, so let's talk about this, because the story was told so non-linearly, told out of
Yes.
order.
I love that about this film. I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting that.
I was like you said, you found out things later and
Mhm.
in reverse, and the
Yes.
story backed up and went
Through
forward.
through other characters.
Yes.
Yes, through other perspectives, you would find out more about the previous character than you would when they were talking about that character.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
What did you find? So were you scared? Did you,
Oh, so okay. Let
oh,
me start by saying
yeah,
when the movie opened, obviously, with and again, spoilers if you haven't watched it yet. I'll try not to give too much away, but there's a kid that is explaining what happened.
right.
And during this time you're watching everything kind of play out to a degree, not in its totality, but to a degree you're watching it play out, and then the story begins, and they're having that conference in the school and whatnot. I felt like in the beginning it was a little slow burnish to me,
Mm,
which is
mm-hmm.
okay
Mm-hmm.
because they're building up the story, and they're introducing you to the characters and why certain characters have a problem, which character has the flaws, why was this character left behind, you know,
Right.
um, and so forth. It didn't start to get scary to me until maybe the second perspective.
Okay.
I felt like Miss Gandy's perspective wasn't really that scary to me.
Okay.
Uh, when they start
When
with
it started, because when she was sitting in the car and old girl
yes,
came out the house,
yes.
you're gonna tell me I was like,
But that did that happen during her perspective? I
yeah.
feel like okay, maybe that was the
But
tail end of
but
her perspective.
her perspective came back a couple times,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, because they went back to her perspective and then Josh Brolin's perspective the most, I
right,
think.
yeah.
Um, I thought the movie was funny, right?
There were some funny
There were
parts for
like
sure.
laugh out loud moments like in the
Yeah,
theater. So like your experience in the movie theater was very different from mine. My theater was packed
hmm
and very vocal. I wasn't sitting next to two men. Actually, when I started, I sat next to two men, and then old guy on the left he was trying to Scooby Doo the seat, and then
uh,
somebody showed up, and this girl was like, "You're in my spot," and he had to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Um, but there was hooping and hollering and screaming and laughing, and people clapped at the end. So
Really?
yeah, there was a moment where it just all slipped away, and I was just in the movie, right? And you know, I when okay, so there's this scene where she's being told by the principal, "Yes, you are the only two survivors of this thing.
Right.
Parents are upset. Leave
Right.
him alone. Don't follow him home. Leave him alone." But she won't let it go, right?
And him being the boy.
And him being the little boy, the other boy that's
Right.
left. And when she is following this kid around with her sippy cup of vodka,
Man, let me tell you.
I was like, the guy next to me was like, "Oh no, oh no!" People were just like feeling because we didn't know what was about to happen to her,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I remember when it switched perspectives to the little boy the first time, and oh no, it was still her perspective, but he went into the house. Now I don't remember if you remember this, and the door just opened, and it was just how it was
Just
just black.
black. Yes. Just black. Yeah.
I really thought it was some sort of alien thing. That's what I thought was going on. I thought, is
Oh.
this kid an alien? Is this kid?
Well, you know, maybe, but I did that didn't cross my mind. I
Okay,
knew there was something up. I knew it had to have been something to do with the house,
yeah,
and the fact that the boy survived, but nobody
yeah.
else
I mean,
besides the teacher.
okay. Also, there was a spot when she went to the house and it was all papered up, and she's looking
Yeah.
through the window. I was like, girl.
Well, yes, but before that, okay, so the windows paper, the being newspapered up,
Yeah.
right? First of all, when you go to somebody's house, you knock on the door, you ring the
Let me tell
doorbell,
you something. Couldn't be
they
a
don't
black
answer,
family. Couldn't be a black family. That's all I can say. I'm like, this would never be
and
a
then
black teacher, and this couldn't be a black family.
next thing who thinks of, okay, well, let me go around back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's more than just. She was I don't want to
Yeah,
use the Karen thing, but Karening out. Like she just
yeah,
wouldn't let it go, and I was like, girl,
yeah.
what do you?
I was thinking to myself in my head, like, come on, this really would not happen.
But it could. I mean, people are that insistent,
True.
right? And
Yeah.
she was right. That's the really crazy thing, right? So like
Mhm.
when she's going to the window, and she's falling backwards and all that stuff, and then she calls the principal, right? And this is what
Yeah.
I loved about the way they told the story. And the principal's like, "Don't you do it again, don't you do it again." Then
Right.
flash forward, but flash backwards. When we see the principal's point of view, and we
Yes.
hear her push it even more, right?
Right. We heard more of the story.
Right, where
Yes.
she's like, "You have to call Child Protective Services now because I've made a
Yes.
complaint." And he's like, huh, "Okay," and right, and it answered. I could feel the
Yes.
writer right answering because I was thinking, I don't understand how the police have not searched this house.
Right.
How the police
Well,
and they
at that
answered.
point in time, that's what we all thought,
Yes,
obviously.
yes,
But
yes,
yes,
yeah,
because that hadn't been answered yet either.
right. And I loved that the movie eventually answered the question.
Yes, all
Right,
of the
all of
questions.
the questions, all
Yes,
of the
all of the
questions.
questions.
Okay, so let's talk about the principal. Like, we're not
Okay.
gonna. This is not gonna be in any kind of reasonable order because this movie is
We're
out of
going
order.
out of order just like
The,
the
the
movie.
movie's out of order. So the principal, I loved how the principal seemed like a side character,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden,
But I knew there was more because in the trailer they show him.
oh, I didn't see trailers.
Oh, see,
I
yeah.
only saw
So
the little
yeah,
like the picture with the
the
kids.
poster.
Yeah, with the I didn't know what was going on. Um,
I watch a lot of trailers.
yeah,
I'm actually a big trailer fan.
yeah.
I will go to the movies 20, 30 minutes early to watch,
You watch all the trailers,
to
okay?
see what is coming
I'm so
next.
tired of the long walk. Can I tell you? I'm tired of that trailer. I've seen that trailer now like
Really?
3 times. Can we switch it up?
They probably will have another trailer
Can
for
they
that
switch
movie.
up that trailer?
I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, me too.
I'm ready for
Stephen
that to
King.
come.
I love Stephen King.
Yeah, but
The
yeah,
principal.
I knew that the principal had more of his character was coming.
Yeah,
I just didn't know how he was going to go from being just a principal to that. So in my head, watching the trailer and then going into the theater, not knowing what to expect, I was thinking at some point this must be something about zombies, because the way he was in the trailer, they show him attacking, it just looked zombie-ish to me.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, this has to be something about zombies, or maybe being being controlled, or something to that effect. And I just didn't quite pick up on what was actually going to happen.
Yeah, zombies crossed my mind, but I felt like, why would these kids disappear? That's what I couldn't figure out, right? And
Right,
I was
because it
like,
wasn't answered yet.
yeah. So
Yeah.
as far as zombies go,
Hmm.
um, so I didn't know old boy was going to run up on her looking like that until he ran up on her, right? So I didn't know what I didn't know. I saw him running, and I was like, what is going on, right?
Yes, but it makes sense as to why they waited to show you that part until a certain period of time, because they had to show you another part first in order for you to understand why he was
Did they
running.
had they already shown us the parents? I
Yes,
mean, I
I
know
think
we had seen the wife come out of the house and grab the hair, which was terrifying. That was a terrifying moment. I was
yes.
terrified.
I want to say, if my memory serves me correctly, maybe we're saying this out of order, but if my memory serves me correctly, I want to say we did see the parents,
We saw
and
Okay, so
then
we saw the parents through the window first,
mhm,
just sitting
right,
there on the couch,
right,
and then she goes, and I don't remember when, but at some point then she goes back and she's in the car, and that's when she's just watching the house with
until
the vodka, right?
until she falls
Until she
asleep. Right,
passes out. All
right.
right. And because she had to be passed out. Nobody's just sleeping and the door opens.
Oh man,
Right.
yeah, yeah. And you
That
know what made it? You know what that part? You know what that part made scary
I
is
do, but you say it.
the fact that you hear the car door open,
Couldn't take it.
but the camera doesn't. It never pans away.
It was so brilliant. It was so brilliant. I was like, oh, first of all, when just when you saw old girl come out of the house, that was the first time you saw one of them move,
Right. Yes.
and her
And
face.
and the way that she walked as well.
And you were like, something ain't right. Right?
right.
And then when she came up and she passed out in the car, and then she
Hmm.
passes the window. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was so brilliant. And then they came, and you're like, "What is happening?" Then all of a sudden, the sound of the car door opening. She doesn't move, and then it was unbearable. It was delicious. I was so. I think like there might have been other scenes that had been uncomfortable or frightening or whatever, and made you feel uncomfortable, maybe a the little jump scare when you looked through the window and you saw like the parents or something like that. But that was
Hmm.
honestly, I was really scared during that point. Yeah.
Yeah. There is one thing that, as we're talking about this, it kind of makes me wonder, because without fully giving it away, you know how they're kind of sent on a mission. These
Yes.
people, they're sent
Yes.
on a particular mission.
You mean the end of
Um,
the movie?
well, the end of the movie,
Oh, right.
during the movie,
When they right. Okay, I understand what you're saying. We are trying
without
not to
giving
give
it,
anything
without
away.
fully giving it away, they're
Right.
sent on a mission, right?
Right.
So when the mother walks out of the house,
Hmm.
I'm it's dawning on me now. What mission was she sent on? Because
Get the hair.
she hadn't had a lock of the hair yet.
Yes. Get
So
the hair.
how could she have been sent on a mission to go after? Remember, they all
No.
were
No.
sent on a
No. No.
mission,
No. The mother of the little boy, right,
right? Hmm.
was sent on the mission to get character's name,
Miss Gandy,
Miss Gandy.
yeah,
Miss
Miss
Gandy's
Gandy's hair,
hair.
right?
Right.
But for in order for them to be sent on this mission,
Okay.
they have to have she had to have a piece of their
Oh.
belongings. And so how was she sent on the mission to get that lock of hair? You see what I'm saying? That just dawned on me. How did that happen?
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
she was not attacked at that point in time. So how did
Well,
that happen?
maybe the okay, so let's think it through from the little children's point of view, right?
Oh,
All she had, you figured it out.
well,
All she had was the signs, so that activates them.
but she didn't have the teacher signs. I know we're bouncing around.
No, 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 no. She had the
She had
little
all
kid signs, right?
right. Yeah.
So she had all the little kids signs. She did her little thing in the pot, and that drew the kids to them. So there must be some other agency that can occur when she's brewing something up. So she basically, we're assuming, right? Because all I can do is assume
Right.
this,
Right.
is she took the mother's whatever and sent her, had a little mission.
Yeah. But as you're saying all of this, because I'm, my mind is swirling. Um, I'm also thinking of when the little boy would come home, the dad would open the door.
Yes, they had some
Yeah.
agency.
So yes, they did. And not only that, there's a few scenes where they're standing in front of a door,
Yeah.
away from where they were normally sat at.
And she can ramp them up, right? Or
Yeah.
move them down because she took the husband to school, right?
Right.
After the
Right.
fork scene, right?
Right. Hmm.
And then she ramped them up into rage when she was like to the little boy, "Don't cross the salt,"
Right.
right? Let's
Yes.
let's make a note to self: if we ever go into a home and
Oh
there's
yeah.
salt, like my people from New Orleans, don't go in the house.
No, yeah, I'm
No
not doing
salt.
that. I'm not going into a house that's newspapered
Yeah,
up.
I'm not neither. Not no. I would have said, you know what? I'm going to take my stuff and pack my car and get my sippy cup and go somewhere else.
Right. That would have been the first sign. You see this little boy. Granted, I get it because it's a boy. You want to make sure that their safety. They're
Yeah.
safe and whatnot. You go to this house. You see all the windows. Plastered up with newspaper.
Back
The
up.
first thought is going to be what's going on here, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to investigate this myself. I'm going to initially call the cops or
Well, they
something.
didn't do that a lot. And okay, so let's. Okay, I think that Miss Ganji. Why does that name sound wrong to me?
No, it's Gandhi. Gandhi.
Ganji's something else from another movie, isn't it? Miss Ganji. What's that
Yes.
from? It's from
I
a movie,
don't
right?
know where it's from, but
Miss
yeah.
Ganji. It's from something, and I'm afraid I don't. I'm gonna Google it and see. But I feel like she didn't call the cops because she wanted to solve the case,
Right.
right?
She wanted to be right
She
in
wanted to
her.
be right and she wanted to be vindicated,
Yes.
right? And I
Mhm.
think this. Let's talk about her ex
Her
boyfriend,
love interest. Yeah.
the cop,
Yes.
her cop and the tweaker,
The tweaker.
which
Man.
was equally funny
It was.
and so clever, right? I mean,
Mhm.
those characters were so good because they served real purposes. They just weren't like characters that are gonna, be killed, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I'm looking up Miss Ganji.
That's
Um,
gonna bother you.
it's something. I know it is. I just can't remember. If anybody, if this stays in the podcast, please put it in the comments. Miss Ganji, what is that
Miss
from?
Ganji.
That's from something. Anyway, okay, so
The tweaker and the cop.
the tweaker and the cop.
The tweaker's real name is Austin Abrams. He
He was
played
great.
James,
He was great.
and
Yeah.
then the cop is Alden Ehrenrich.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
he
is.
was he played Han Solo.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was
Right.
in
You're right.
what's the name of the movie?
Man, it's one of the Star Wars.
Yeah, it was not one of the better ones, but it was he was very well cast. I think that they just,
Yeah.
stuff happens. But he
When it switched to them,
Solo.
when it
Solo was the
that.
name of the movie. Solo.
Oh, okay, Solo.
Solo.
Got
Um yeah, so that particular little story plot
it. Hmm.
was so interesting because
But it was good because
yeah,
and not only that, it threw you off the path a little bit, but
yes.
it also set things up brilliantly for what was to come next.
Yes.
But the part that was great about it is the part where it throws you off the path, and you see this cop bust this junkie, apprehends him, and does the typical police procedure, pats him down. He said, "Do you have anything sharp, anything that'll poke me if I reach into your pockets?" And of course, the junkie says no, and he
Was that
reaches
the
in.
paperclip or was that a needle that stuck in though?
No, that was a needle.
Are you
That
sure?
was,
The first
yeah,
time?
I believe it was a needle.
Now, see, now I gotta
Because
go see this movie again because I feel like
yeah,
the first time was a paperclip. Because remember when he was scraping out his little bowl or his little pipe, and he had the little paperclip all stretched out, and he was like digging it out.
okay, so maybe I thought it was the I thought it was a needle because he also asked the junkie, he said, "You don't have AIDS,
After
do
he
you?"
stabbed him in the face, though, not
Oh, that's true. That is
right.
true. That's different time
I was
time
like,
frame.
this brother is toast. I was like, I don't know
But
what's going on.
but to the point of when he initially poked his finger, I
Yeah,
was thinking to myself like, "Uh-oh. I wonder if that is what starts it. Maybe this is the zombie process because we hadn't gotten to the principal yet.
oh,
We hadn't gotten to the principal's timeline yet.
right, right.
So it still left you wondering, okay, well, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Because a lot of that hadn't happened yet. A lot of it still was kind of played from Miss Gandy's perspective, even though it was told from different perspectives. We went from Miss Gandy to Archer, who was Josh Brolin,
yeah.
the dad
Oh,
who
it was great. He
missed
was
his
great.
son, and then we went from Archer to James. No, not James. Yeah, to James, the cop,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then from James, we went to um, the principal, and then after the principal, we went to the junkie, right?
I mean,
I want
I don't remember
I
the
want to
order.
say I want to say that was the order. I
I'll
could
support that.
I want to say that was the order. But if anything, I might be mixing one or two of them up, but I'm pretty sure I have it in close enough in order.
Yeah,
Um, and so we're getting these different perspectives. So Miss Gandy's perspective and Archer's perspective is they're combined. It's telling a lot of Miss Gandy's story, but it's also telling a lot of Archer's story because he misses his son. It's shown from his perspective of what grief looks like for him,
yeah.
and why he's putting so much blame on Miss Gandy.
I mean,
The survivor.
who else would you really?
Right.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, I did really question the police in this scenario. I was like,
Yeah, because they were very
there
lackadaisical
are
yeah,
17 missing children, bruh. You know
and
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
and they're just chilling
they just like,
in like,
we looking.
yeah,
What
they're investigating. We'll get
we'll
back to
get?
you when
I
we
was
know
like,
something.
what? Because first of all, like the simple
Yeah.
thing of you have two children running in a certain direction.
Right.
Simple math. That was geometry.
Yeah.
That's if we took geometry in high school for any reason, that would be it to locate
Mhm,
a missing child, right?
mhm,
And
mhm,
so to me, I was just like, why is he doing this? And they
mhm.
haven't done that. There are two videos. What was a really favorite part for me
What's that?
was when uh, uh, Josh Brolin's character went to the house of the other kid, the ring camera, and the wife
Yeah.
was like, no. And he was like, nah, man. Everybody was just pushing it, pushing it. He was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna wait
But
for the husband to come
take
up.
he didn't take no for an
He was
answer.
just
He
like,
waited
nah.
he waited for the husband to show
Yes,
up.
I loved that so much. And then when she was standing on the steps looking pissed off, I was like, such funny little layers, right?
Right.
Like such
Right.
funny little things that are happening outside of the main story, like that wife giving him the evil eye. And that's the
Mhm.
reason her son was found,
Yeah.
right? Like,
And I honestly thought that there was another sway away from what the storyline really was about.
yeah.
It had me believing it might be the power lines. Maybe there's something to do,
Mm-hmm.
something to do with that because they kept showing that.
Well, that was the first time I thought it could be aliens for some reason. I went to like
Right. Right.
E.T., the movie E.T., I thought
Oh,
power lines. I,
hold on. Let's talk about
but,
the part where the dad, Josh Brolin, is having the
oh, the
dream.
dream. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Did you have
And
feelings and thoughts about it?
so because I did not know what to think. I thought that there was going to be some sort of metaphor, 17 missing kids, it's a
Hmm.
school,
I thought it was a
and then
school shooting thing.
yes, that's why
Yeah.
the title's called Weapons.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
So
Right.
I was waiting for something like that to happen because obviously you go into it, besides the trailer, you kind of go into it blind, not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
So in your head, you're thinking, okay, when is something going to pop out at you? And that was probably the first thing that popped out, where you're like, And I don't want to say what it was, but when he sees it, I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
this is great.
yeah. And and when he woke up from that dream and was like, "What the fuck?" The theater erupted.
Yes.
The theater erupted in laughter. It was such a great moment. It was such a
Yeah,
great moment. Um,
yeah.
I don't want to give away the ending, and I don't want to give away the story.
Oh, yeah.
Needless to say, I didn't see it coming,
You didn't
and
see what part coming.
I didn't see the who and the why of what was going on coming.
Okay.
When the main villain shows up, I knew it was
Yes.
the villain, but I
Yes.
didn't really. It just kept revealing itself, right? It
Yes.
just kept revealing how crazy and toxic and dangerous the situation was. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And the
And
ending,
what and
cheers
the
cheers. People were cheering.
and you didn't really realize, or you didn't know until it was James's timeline,
Yeah.
that we see her, or we
Yes.
see
Yes.
them for the first time.
Yes.
But it was for first, it was for a split second in the
Yes.
woods.
Yes.
And then after that,
Why was she in the woods?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, no, I don't. I really
I
don't
don't.
know.
I mean, I might need to see this again. I have a friend
Yeah,
who wants to see it. Maybe I'll go back. I'll pay more attention this time because I won't be in terror. You know.
I don't. I don't know why they were in the woods, but that kind of leads you on a wild goose chase for a split second as
Yeah.
well, because you think it's gonna, once it comes back to James, you think it's gonna be one person, turns out to be the other person.
Yeah. It was really
Mhm.
good, and I like how the use of the word, like you just said, weapons is the name of the movie, and everything and anything could become a weapon in that movie,
Yes.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Anything, a ribbon became a weapon, right?
There were several different types of weapons,
Yes,
symbolism as well as actual.
actual. Yeah,
Yes.
it was. I just thought it was, um,
Brilliant.
I thought it was really great. I really
Yeah.
did. I thought brilliant is a good word for it because I feel like it was layered and nuanced, and
Right.
also like I'm sure if we were just sitting on the phone talking about it, and we could really just say all the things without spoiling it terribly, we would probably even reveal more things about it. One thing that I thought was very interesting is what it's saying about the little boy. So the little boy eventually has power,
He
right?
does.
He
He
eventually has
starts to
power,
he
and
starts to
he creates
realize his
weapons,
power.
right?
Yes, he starts to realize his power.
Yeah, which I thought
Once,
was really interesting.
mhm. Because in the beginning, once he realized what was going on, he felt powerless,
Right.
and he felt like he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, and I really think that that's part of that message. Like when you lose somebody, or when
Hmm.
something tragic happens, you know,
Hmm.
you feel powerless,
Right,
and you would be willing to do anything, right?
right. Until he realizes that he had, like, the power was in his hands all along. All he had
Mm,
to do was just pay more attention.
yeah, yeah,
Once he paid more attention.
yeah. Once he figured it out,
Mhm.
yeah. It's just, and that last scene, and I want anybody who ever, I want people to experience it the way we experienced it. That last
Yeah.
scene I was riveted.
It was funny, man. Oh,
It
it
was,
was funny. It
it was
was
just
it
like
was
busting through.
yeah, it was also redemption. It wasn't really what you anybody was willing to expect.
Yeah, of course. It wasn't even something that I had in my head. And again, I
No,
was sitting in between two strangers, and I just literally said to somebody, I was like, "Oh, girl is moving." I
yeah.
was like, "This is."
And I could just imagine what it felt like as the kids,
Yeah,
to actually be able to do those scenes,
yeah,
without saying what happens, but to
yeah.
actually do those scenes. That had to have
Well,
been a blast.
I think that if you've ever had anything happen to a child that you know, or to anybody that's happened to them personally, or you know, that revenge of ripping,
Yeah.
yeah, it's powerful.
Well, yeah, not even just that part. I'm
Yeah,
talking about just the chase. I don't want to say
yeah, yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what,
yeah,
but just the chase of it all. That part seemed like,
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
that moment where the power shift happens
yeah,
is like powerful, right?
it
It's like,
was. It was.
yeah, it was really good. So I say that it's I'm not gonna say that it's better than Sinners, but I think that it is it's definitely we are lucky to have that movie this year. We're lucky that
Yes.
Weapons has come out and we get to see it and experience it. It was just horror brilliance, you know. It's
Yeah.
just
No, especially for a horror film.
yeah.
I'm actually excited for where horror is going because for I'm not a big horror film person,
You get
for
there.
one.
You get there.
And well, but not only that, I will. The reason why I can say that I'm enjoying films like Weapons and Sinners and
Mm-hmm.
maybe a few others is because the the writing and the creativity
Mm-hmm.
is shifting in a way away from traditional horror where it's just like a slasher film or it's just like the typical, you know, you get a phone call, hello, who is this? Right?
Yeah.
Or you knock at the door and there's a lot more layers to this. There's more storyline.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and there's a lot more twists
You
and
know,
turns.
for those who are not haven't been studying or watching or
Yeah.
devouring horror for a long time, there's a misnomer about horror movies that they're, you know, just slashers, for example. Um,
Oh, I mean, I enjoyed this though.
yeah, no, no,
I
I know you did. I'm saying though,
Yeah.
have you ever seen like Rosemary's Baby?
No. So, like I said,
1968.
yeah,
1968 that
yeah.
movie came
See,
out.
Rosemary's Baby, The
No, but
Exorcist.
the Rosemary's Baby is brilliant.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
I know it's a classic.
Yeah.
I know there's a long list of horror classics out there, and there's quite a few that I've actually seen and I've actually enjoyed, even though some of them might be scarier than others.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'll tell you why I'm saying Rosemary's Baby because what was her name? I'm looking. Gladys Lilly. That's the character's name. Amy Madigan is the actress. Brilliant actress. Field of
Mhm.
Dreams. Brilliant actress, right?
Okay, okay,
Um, that character is based on a witch. I can see it. That's in Rosemary's Baby. If you see Rosemary's Baby and
wait, which character is based on the
so
witch? Oh,
Lily,
oh, I
yeah,
see.
she's based on like if you look Google it up, Rosemary's Baby. I want to say Ruth is the character's name in Rosemary's Baby. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you see the movie, you'll get it. You'll see it. There's a quirkiness. There's this sort of like, you know,
Got it.
yeah, it's very interesting. So, yeah. Oh, there's so many good ones. The Exorcist is, of course, one of the most brilliant horror movies. You know.
Yeah, I just couldn't play around with some of those movies back in the day, and I
Yeah,
just never went back to revisit.
yeah, that's
Uh,
okay. So let's switch gears before we're at 40. We're halfway through.
well, before we leave, I just
Okay.
wanted to say one thing that I wanted to say as far
Okay.
as the ending.
Yes.
I the, I loved the movie through and through. I just wish that we had maybe gotten like another 10-15 minutes
Ooh, you wanted
of
more.
the end because I feel like even though there was a lot of greatness in the end, I feel like the very ending was a little rushed,
Hmm.
and it goes back to what happens in the beginning where there's a voiceover monologue telling a part of the story, which obviously um, they end in a similar fashion, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe some of that could have been wrapped up in showing what happens a little better,
Okay. So
instead
you
of
wanted more post. I don't want to say what happens, but when the kids are that last 10 minutes, you wanted extended to tell more story.
well beyond the kids.
Okay.
Once the kids do what they do, once
Yeah.
everything happens at the end,
Yeah.
when it goes back to the I don't know if it's the boy or if it's another boy that's telling
The
this story.
voiceover. It's not the
The
same person's
voiceover.
voice.
No, it is the same
Oh, okay.
person's voice. I just don't know whose voice that is. I don't know if it's the boy that survived or it's just another student. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like it wasn't the boy that survived.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's being told by another student or
But
another child.
yeah, either another student or
Mhm.
yeah, maybe another student.
I just wish that when it goes back to that dialogue, that the scenes that they show, or scene or two scenes that they show, uh, it could have been a little extended and kind of given us a little more there. That's
Yeah,
all.
sure.
Um,
I
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at how it ended. Obviously, it ended
yeah,
on a high note.
yeah. I'm
Um,
thinking like I didn't feel that in the moment, but I could see that. Like I did. I was sort of like I had, it's like I had just popped my jeans. I was satisfied.
yeah.
I
I
was
mean, the
like rubbing
movie's
my
2 hours.
tummy. Yeah,
The movie is two
2
hours
hours.
8 minutes.
Yeah, it's not short.
No,
Yeah.
if it was like 2 hours 15 minutes or 2 hours 20 minutes
Okay.
out of it,
I bet you
I'd
if
be
when it comes out on either DVD or something, maybe they'll have extra scenes they cut out.
man,
It's
maybe
possible.
maybe.
It
That's,
feels like there could have been more story.
so I did not look this up. Maybe I
Hmm.
should have, but I was told that there might be space for weapons too.
Hmm.
No,
I mean, what would that be?
I don't know. I mean, the boy knows what he's doing now, right?
Ooh, the boy.
You know,
Yeah.
I really don't know.
See, I kind of liked that it felt very tied up, but you're right.
Yeah.
The boy. Ooh.
And there was some other symbolism in there. I don't know if we realized it or not, but
What?
throughout the movie, once it got to a certain point, the sign was right there the whole time on
On
the
the
side of
car.
the car.
On the car. Right? And even like the idea of a witch hunt, right? It's like,
Yes,
it's
yeah. It's brilliant how he tied everything together
yeah,
and make sense in a way that wasn't. It was in your face,
yeah.
but it really didn't tell you at the
Oh
same
no,
time.
because you thought that's ridiculous, right?
Hmm.
And I'll tell you, so that scene that let me finish it up with this. The scene that I jumped that I grabbed my man sitting next to me, okay, that I didn't know, was when Josh went down into the basement to look for his kid.
Yeah.
And he was like, Matthew, Matthew, Matthew.
Oh yes, yes,
And her face was like,
yes. That scene, and then the scene when Josh Brolin is also in the dream and he looks up at the ceiling.
oh God, yeah. Oh God. Oh, and remember when little boy is like looking around, peeking through the door,
Hmm.
and then he
Hmm.
pans over and she's like on the
Oh yes, yeah.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
This- that's the whole. That's why I don't watch these
I
movies,
was
man.
sweating. There was sweat, like that fight or flight sweat.
Yeah.
I was like,
Hmm.
wow, this movie is good.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know?
But I was more wrapped up in it because of the storyline. I
Yes, that too. That's the
really,
perfect balance. The perfect
yes,
balance is like an actual story where I'm actually nervous and I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm I'm
right,
I'm I'm honestly perplexed. I don't know what's
yeah,
going on. Like when she showed up at the principal's house,
yeah. Oh,
I
I
was like,
know,
"What is going on?" When she said, "I'll take my water in a bowl,"
right.
who
And
thinks who thinks
I
of
was,
that?
I know, and I was ready to see her just lift this bowl up.
I was like, "What is going on?"
I never understood that
It was
until,
so good. And then when she was like,
oh,
"You haven't called Child Protective Services, right?" I was like,
oh,
"Oh damn."
mm. And that wig, man. Come on, they
That
could have
that was
took
that was a brilliant choice
that
because them
wig,
bangs were right here. Them
and
bangs were here.
the smeared lipstick.
It
Oh
was
man,
fabulous. But that's why you got to look up Ruth Gordon in Rosemary's Baby. Look, because
yeah.
that's the same type of energy she's giving. This
Mhm.
like quirky. I don't
Yeah.
even know what.
No, it's quirky but spooky at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah, creepy. Just
creepy. You
yeah.
know,
If you were in a hallway and it was just you and that person, I'd
and
time to
honestly scary. Like when she was
go.
like, "I will make your parents eat each other." I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, they're not even trying to make it like kid friendly. This is
No.
straight up."
Oh yeah. There's nowhere,
you know?
nowhere near kid friendly here for
Right.
sure.
And I also like how they like when the little boy was like, "Will can I get you what you need so you can go home?" You know, like he was like
But
that was a smart character. That character was interesting and smart.
smart, and
Yeah.
she was smart to say back. She
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I'm gonna say what I think you
Yeah.
want. So
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes,
Yes. It was really
but
good.
I ain't going nowhere."
I ain't going nowhere.
Oh
It was
man,
so good. So it's watchable.
definitely
Yeah,
watchable,
for
for
sure.
sure.
You know,
Go
and even
see it in.
if you don't see it in the theaters, it'll be equally as good at home. It'll be, I
Yeah.
mean, I enjoyed it. I went to IMAX, and
Oh, you got to see the IMAX. So
oh,
I didn't see IMAX only because I want the IMAX showings. They had two showings in the morning,
hmm
and then there weren't any more showings until 4 p.m. And I went to the 2 p.m.
yeah,
I wanted midday. I didn't want late
yeah.
evening.
I went to a
Uh,
3 o'clock and uh, packed. The rest of them they were all sold out, all day.
yeah.
All right, so let's
That's
switch gears.
okay. We're gonna talk
You,
about the pickup.
yeah,
Eddie Murphy,
I
Keke
love Eddie
Palmer,
Murphy. I love Keke Palmer.
Pete Davidson.
Enjoyable.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
it's a lucky guy. New
Yeah,
Yorker. He's a New Yorker.
yeah. This
Uh,
film was directed by Tim Story. I don't know if you know who
I
Tim
don't.
Story is.
I don't. Should I?
Um, yeah,
Let me look him
he's
up.
done quite a bit of big name movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's done Fantastic Four. He's done Ride Along. He's done two Fantastic Fours
Did he
actually,
just do
and
the
both
recent Fantastic Four?
no.
Okay.
So he did not do the recent one. He did the Sony version of Marvel, which I'm not a fan of Sony version of Marvel.
Hmm.
Uh, but Ride Along Two, The Blackening, Think Like a Man. So he's got quite a bit of a
Nice,
background.
nice creds. Yeah,
Um,
I see him here.
and I thought this movie was pretty good. I wouldn't say that it was the best laugh out loud funny, but there was definitely some funny moments. Obviously, I love Eddie Murphy. I love Kiki Palmer. I love all three,
Yeah,
and it was a good trio to have. Obviously,
I think that this movie had an editing problem.
are
That's
you
what I
okay?
think. I think that you have these three caliber level, the level of skill with these three people, especially Eddie Murphy, and especially like, I mean, look, out of the three, I think
Hmm.
Pete Davidson is probably the least experienced in film
Right,
acting, right? But
right,
he's very, very funny, very good at being able to deliver lines and understanding how what works and what doesn't work, right?
right. Hmm.
Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy, right? And Keke Palmer is Keke Palmer, right? You've
Yeah.
got people here, you've got gold in your hands. But I
Hmm.
think that there was something going on for me with how it was edited or paced or something like that. There was something, the choices that were made as far as like me attaching to the
Hmm.
characters. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so the premise of I'm a I'm a armored car driver and I want to be a cop and all that stuff. And he's, that's Pete Davidson's character. And then Eddie Murphy's character is the about to retire. It's a classic story, right? These two guys, the different stages of life, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
That it all started because he pulled a gun on Keke Palmer in a bank.
Right.
It troubled me. So that was a story part that I didn't enjoy. He didn't need to do all that. He could have just met her at a
Right.
bar. He could have just met her at a bar, and that would have been more believable to me.
Right.
Why did he need to pull a gun on her because she gave him a
Be-
piece of paper in the bank? It's like it
well, I think it's just the whole trope of you slide somebody a piece of paper folded up in a bank alludes to the fact that you're trying to rob a
right, but
bank.
that's not
So
even what she did. She didn't slide it, right?
right, she didn't. But I think in a way, being that he's a little inexperienced, he didn't do well in the police academy.
Right.
Um, he's kind of like a flunky.
Yes, I get all that.
Yeah. So I think in
Why
his
didn't they just
mind,
put him in a bar? Like it would have been equally as actually it would have probably been better, right?
yeah.
If because he would have I met this great girl, oh my god, blah blah blah, and then when she marked him, then
Right.
that would have been a reveal to us. I didn't.
Right.
I was so perplexed on why they did that, and so I was sort of like, you know, frustrated with that. I was like, okay, so I got to let that go. And then just some of the pacing of how they edited the story, and
Right.
you know, then this sort of like they had some really good bits with them in the car, right? Because they're
It did.
right, like some funny stuff, and I was laughing, and I thought, God, I just enjoy watching Eddie Murphy so much, and but the premise of 80 miles and there's no
Oh, right.
service,
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Right.
Why do we need that? Couldn't it just be that they're something else? I don't know. I mean, like I'd have to really like sit and really ponder a way around it. But I don't like conceits. I don't like these kind of tropes that like force a situation. It's like you go to a haunted house and there's no cell service for hundreds of miles. Like, really, is that really what we're doing
Right. They gotta
on
they
the
gotta paint the
highway?
picture. They they have to paint the picture in a way to where it was like, okay, now I can live in this world once they
No,
re-
but it didn't.
reveal it.
No,
I know. I know.
yeah, no. And listen, I don't know who wrote this, but
It says screenplay by Kevin Burrows. I'm not familiar with Kevin Burrows,
I
but
I um I listen, I get it. I get it, and you just get into a space and you're just like, well, what if there's just no service for 80 miles? 80 miles?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
over an hour of time that there's no
yeah,
service.
that's pretty long. And not only that, I feel like that car chase scene was
Too long.
too long.
Too long. Too long. I didn't need it.
And
I didn't need it. What's the conceit of this movie? Pete Davidson, inexperienced, he gets conned by a beautiful girl. He thinks he's in love, and she's going to rob the bank. Her motivation, I loved it. When they finally reveals her motivation, I loved it. Like,
mhm,
they could have even started with her, you know what I mean? And like done her backstory, seen her father's story, something where like it just was like you didn't, you
you didn't believe it totally,
I didn't buy it. Like that the idea of
right?
like suspending the disbelief,
Yeah.
right?
One thing I will say is throughout this film, you never really got the sense of urgency. Even during the police chase, like every time that there was a gun pulled or any action scene, they just seemed too nonchalant about everything.
Right.
The whole entire time, like even when Eva Longoria shows up,
Oh, please.
too
Please.
nonchalant. I don't know anybody who would have reacted that calmly.
Kevin, Kevin, his wife showed up
I know.
to the armored car
Yeah,
because they couldn't figure out a way. They didn't want to have another set piece, maybe. So instead of her being threatened from at the house, she comes to the armored car because he's got
she finds them. She
an
finds them. She
airdrop.
locates. She locates them. Not only that, the armor car never returns back to where it belongs. Aren't they on a timed route? Aren't they?
I, I don't
They're on the
know.
news. They're on the
But
news. They're being followed by
they could have lied
helicopters.
to us better, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like it just made no sense.
Yeah, they're on the news. They're being followed by helicopter, and the next thing you know, they're no longer being followed. They're no longer on the news. It's there were certain things. There were a lot of gaps in it.
Holes,
But
plot holes.
if you yes, but if you I'm gonna say this. So I've
Please.
had these kinds of conversations before with other people, and especially like when you get into like barbershop chatter and whatnot.
Hmm. I mean, I
A
don't
lot of
know, but I hear you.
a lot of times, um, people want a sense of escape. They don't want to have to think hard.
Hmm.
They want to enjoy
Yeah,
themselves.
it's easy viewing.
So in my mind, watching this, obviously you got to turn a few of those logical buttons off. Those
No,
logical levers
they
you just
don't
got to
turn
shut
off.
them off.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This
And you
Bronx
have to
girl
take
is
it.
not buying it. I was like, nah, man.
You have to take it for what it is. You
Here's
have
the,
to enjoy it for
here.
what it is.
Okay, so they tried to enjoy. No, I do not. Okay, so she gets a gun pulled on her, right? Okay, whatever. She's not going to say anything. How many days does it take before his boss finds out he pulled a gun? It was
Oh
like days.
yeah, days. days. Let's also bring up the fact that I didn't realize it at first, but I was like, why is that voice connecting to me? Andrew
Andrew Dice
Dice
Clay. Yeah, I
Clay.
liked him. He was
Yeah,
believable as
Andrew Dice Clay.
sort
Yeah,
of a cliche character, but
right.
he was believable. He was believable. They're Listen. I want them to keep trying to make these movies because I think if they were to like,
Well, I think
if this had been like Midnight Run,
yeah,
meets something else, like if
yeah,
it had gotten it right, just like a couple of like story tweaks and the editing was just a little, like they could have sliced down some of the, like you say, the chase scenes, and then even the new bad guys when she sort of,
right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
come on.
They always do a pit stop at a diner somewhere. You know, somebody always gets tied up, and one tries to escape, or one tries. You know, there's always diversions and whatnot.
But the thing about it was when they were acting together, right? When Pete and Eddie were acting together, even that really fun scene in the bathroom with Keke Palmer and Pete Davidson. I wouldn't say that they had like sexual chemistry or romantic chemistry, but they had funny chemistry,
Yeah,
right?
I think all three of them definitely
Yeah,
have great chemistry together.
yeah. So like, that would have been if they, I don't know, like sometimes you see stories about some of these movies where they just shoot so much until they just get enough to make it funny. And that's what I
Right.
feel like they just probably didn't let it go long enough and get the real gold because it was right there. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It was right there. And like, and just to get back between the romance, they didn't really have like a sparkle between them.
Hmm.
But I mean, like, he doesn't really play that often anyway. He doesn't really
No,
play sort of like a
he's
suave
always
kind of
yeah,
guy.
he's always played the quirky,
Yeah.
nerdy, goofy guy.
So I don't know.
Which,
It's interesting, but
yeah, it works for him.
it does.
Uh,
I like him. I mean, I
yeah,
liked all these three leads. I felt like the two bad guys. The guys that she ran with or whatever. They were a little. You know, it's
yeah,
like,
right. We could have done without them.
well,
Really, it,
or make them one and make them worse. You know what I mean? Like, you know what it
right?
reminds me of? It reminds me of that movie Baby Driver. Did you ever see the movie Baby Driver?
Yes,
Right.
I like Driver.
Remember
Yeah,
how when the character, and I can't remember who it was, like it was John Hamm was one of them, and then there was another guy, and they really turn bad. They get like really
yeah.
nasty, and when that happens, they have to really feel
You got to up the
threatening,
stakes.
right?
Yeah, up the
And
stakes.
that
Yeah,
just never happened. It just I
no,
never was like,
it's it stayed one note
yeah,
throughout the entire
yeah,
movie.
yeah,
So I could see that it is definitely one note, but again, I for what it is, for face value,
yeah.
the fact that it was released on a streamer, it's something to
Listen,
watch. Yeah, when
I'm
you're
not mad
bored.
at it.
I was gonna say there's obviously some things that they could have done
Yeah,
better.
yeah. It reminded me of that movie we didn't talk about. The one we had thought we were going to talk about it. It was like a house. First of all, there was the G one with Viola, G something,
Oh, G20,
G20, and then
G20.
there was the other one with the White House one with
Oh, is it Heads of State? No, it's
uh
G20. I know G20 is Viola Davis.
yeah.
Heads of State was the one with Idris Elba and
Yes, yes.
John Cena.
It
I
reminded
never,
me.
I never
You never
watched
got
it.
to watch it, right? I got
Yeah.
notes. I got notes for when you're ready.
Okay.
It reminded me of that because even though those two actors in, well, I forget the other actor's name besides Idris.
Is it John Cena? I think it's John
Yes,
Cena.
it is John Cena. They gave them enough time to get the comedy rhythm and lock it down and nail it and whatever. But
Mhm.
there was still that little awkwardness. That buddy duo thing is not easy to capture. It's
No,
and and that's just
I feel like,
facts.
and I feel like they've tried it a few times with Eddie, or I don't know if it's Eddie.
'Cause when you get
Eddie,
it with him, it's gold.
yeah, he did it with is it Jonah Hill?
Oh, that right,
Uh,
right, right. That was funny. Yeah, he
yeah,
was funny.
there was a few other movies that he's done where it's
Yeah,
kind of like the buddy, kind of like the buddy. One is sensible, the other one's quirky, and they
yeah,
don't get along, and they got to get along to figure something out, or
yeah.
save the day or whatever.
I want to see him do a Boomerang too. I want to see him do the sequel to Boomerang.
Really? Do
Yeah.
you? But how? Okay, so how did you feel about Coming to America 2? Because I felt like they should have left that alone.
how did I feel about that? It wasn't good.
No,
But
we all
I'm
tuned
glad
in.
they did it. I'm glad they did
Yeah.
it. I'm glad they tried. I was excited. I really I wanted it to be great. I think that they just needed more. And I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say this as delicately as I can. I don't think basing a story on a woman sleeping with somebody while they're passed out is a good plan. I just don't
Right.
think that's a good plan. I remember watching it going, do, do they understand what's happening? Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
I was just like, what is going on here? And, and like, again, all the, like, I mean, Leslie Jones is brilliant. You know what I mean? These actors are brilliant
Yeah.
and funny. And to
Yeah.
me, it's all about story. So they just, but Boomerang, I'd still be willing.
I listen. I'm going to show up if they make Boomerang 2. I'm going to watch it
That
because
movie changed my whole
yeah,
mind.
these are classics. These are films that we grew up on
Yeah,
or and love, and
yeah,
they stand the test of time. So when you try to recreate that
yeah.
in today's space where
Okay.
there's a lot of PC culture, and you can't really do all of the jokes and the way you want to.
I mean, just
It's
you do the
tough.
jokes, but like, you know,
Yeah,
make it be a joke. That thing in
right.
Coming to America is not a joke. They
Yeah,
played it as it was humorous because what? Because when someone's passed out and you sleep with them, that's funny. Okay,
right.
let me get off my soapbox. But it could be interesting in Boomerang because now he would be the father, and if they could get Halle Berry to be the mommy,
Mm, wow.
I mean, come on.
Right.
And Boomerang could mean something else because now it's maybe they merge it with like Father of the Bride or something like that. I don't know, but oh my god, that would be great because they did it with The Best Man. They did that. They were able to do that,
Yeah. And
and that
that
was great. The series was
right.
great. The shows
Yeah.
were great.
And now they have a book.
Oh,
Now
I didn't know they had
yeah,
a book.
he's expanding the
Oh,
series by
so good.
releasing books now. So there's no new series in the works,
Yeah.
but he's expanding their characters by releasing them within the book.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good to hear.
now he's on a book tour. Actually, I really do wish that they could do some of these, classic films justice if they make a part two or a sequel
Yeah,
or a
you know,
franchise. It's hard to.
it's hard. Like making a movie is
Yeah.
hard, like and having it work is hard. So I don't like I just in my heart of hearts I would love to see it, but I really wish Eddie Murphy would do more like um dramas or even like a romantic comedy more
Yeah.
because he just doesn't do them that often. Remember when he did that movie where God, what is it called? It was a great movie he did where he was like he's
Uh,
like a nerd and he plays like two people.
oh, Norbit,
No, not
not
Norbit.
Norbit.
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's a
It's
nerd.
like with a B.
Bowfinger,
Oh my god, that
Bowfinger.
movie to me is the
I don't
most
know why I
perfect
was.
movie for him. Like it
Yeah,
was
I don't know
funny.
why I was thinking Warren Beatty for some reason. I don't know.
You're thinking probably the one with Halle Berry, the Bulworth.
Bulworth. That's what. Okay.
That's what you're
Yeah.
thinking. Um,
Yeah. Both start with a
the
B, and
B,
they're both.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I'm glad Eddie Murphy's acting again. I'm glad he's like
Too.
doing, that we get to see him and we get to,
Yeah.
just watch him because he'll they just got to catch him. He's the lightning,
Hmm.
so they've just got to catch him and
I think he's just figured out a way to move into the space of. I don't know if he's no longer chasing box office
I doubt it.
films. I think he's just moved into the streaming space. He's going to give them what they want, as and pump out as many of these movies now in the streaming space as he possibly can,
Yeah,
and lock in his dollars there. Maybe he's not landing or getting a lot of roles um, for films that hit theaters, and so obviously the streamers will take him because he's
yeah.
still a
He's still
very
a draw.
profitable. Yeah, he's still a draw, very profitable name. I mean, Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy, so you know it makes you wonder why the shift. However, I can see why you're doing the shift in order to remain relevant.
And work.
Uh, I mean, you're going to remain relevant even
Yeah,
if you're in theater, but these these films you can pump out a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what
Absolutely.
the budget for the pickup was, but
Yeah, I think a lot of these are little. I can't say little to no budget, but not that much as a theater release, because all your marketing goes to just online, you know, press releases and just
well, I mean,
buzz.
I'm just thinking just the production budget. Like what I'm wondering what the
Oh, gotcha.
production, not the marketing budget.
It's saying while the full budget hasn't been officially revealed, it's considered a big budget project.
85 million?
Is that what it says?
No.
It's saying reported cast salaries include 20 million for Eddie Murphy. See,
You
see,
better go
I don't
ahead.
know.
You better
I don't
I'd
know if
take
he.
the check, honey.
I don't know if he's making as that many box office theater run films for 20
Listen,
million.
I mean, this movie, to your point right now, okay, their intention was to have
Yeah.
a smash comedy hit, right? So they're going to spend the money. That
Mhm.
the car work that they did alone in that movie was expensive. I remember watching it
Right.
going, that's pretty pricey what they're
Listen,
doing.
you had a whole road
They shut down
closed
a whole
off.
highway. That's what they
Yeah.
did, right? And they had all
Yes.
those cars and the flips and the fires and all that stuff.
It's not.
Um,
That's not cheap.
it's not inexpensive at all. So
No.
was it?
And you got to get it right the first time. If you have to redo anything,
Let's see.
you know. But they're saying Eddie Murphy 20 million, 2 to 6 million for Eva Longoria,
85.
500
Yeah.
500,000 to $1 million for Roman Reigns, which is the WWE star.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say anything for Pete Davidson's salary
Interesting.
or Keke Palmer. That's according to Google. So I can't tell you if these are accurate numbers or not. Probably not. These are probably what either was released or guesstimated. But
Looks like War of Worlds did well with the.
it's funny that so the internet tore that movie up.
I started watching it and then I couldn't continue.
I didn't even cut it on because once I started seeing the reviews, I don't want to see Ice Cube in that light. So I'm
No,
just
but
not
listen,
going.
no, he's not embarrassing you. Well, I started watching it. It doesn't seem like it's a him problem. It just seems like it
Okay.
might be I didn't get far enough into it to really have an opinion. Did you see the one with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
I actually like that movie.
I love that movie.
Mhm.
Okay, so like Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day, he's playing like that kind of character. It seems he's like playing somebody who works in the government that like can see and find everything.
All the surveillance
Right.
and yeah.
And then
Mhm.
somebody, I forget the woman who's with, I can't remember the character, the person. Somebody else is like, oh my God, playing like in NASA or in weather or something. And they're like, oh, are you seeing all this stuff that's going on with the weather? So I literally only got like 3 minutes in.
Oh wow.
Because I wanted to watch it, but then I thought, let me not right now. I'm gonna check it out. I like sci-fi. But people are.
I mean, I do too.
People
but
are
the internet,
giving it heat.
yeah, the internet is tearing that movie to shreds, man.
Who though? Who on the internet?
I mean, just people who do movie reviews.
But sometimes they don't know.
These aren't actual critics themselves. However,
like
I will
Reddit?
say
Okay.
it was debuted on Rotten Tomatoes with a 0%, but it has since gone up to 4%. I will tell you that. So obviously, the actual critics didn't like it either.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to say something really hot. This is going to be a hot take, okay? And you can decide whether to cut it out, and you could leave this part in and then just boop if you cut it out, okay?
No.
Fuck Rotten Tomatoes, okay? I am so tired. They've just become the thing that they were supposed to replace.
But
and people manipulate those numbers. People,
What I will say is I won't just only go off of the Rotten Tomatoes score. I will also look at that, which I enjoy. I like the fact that they included the audience score. So, however it says Rotten Tomatoes score, they'll also put a audience score next to it. So, if Rotten Tomatoes score, let's just say a movie hits 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. But then they'll say the audience score is 100%.
You know who owns Rotten Tomatoes?
Who? I want to say that
Warner Brothers, Warner Media.
Well, they must have picked them because they weren't originally on.
No, they were originally, people.
Right.
Discovery 25%, Comcast 75%.
Yeah, so they have a vested
so
interest
let's just put Rotten Tomatoes back in the shelves. Like they're it started many years ago with the whole DC Marvel thing, and like they would spam and try to crash the numbers, and it's just like, and then studios manipulate it by not, giving out. No, I'll check Reddit before I'll check Rotten Tomatoes, because Reddit
Yeah,
tends to be like at least real people are putting stuff up.
right. Right. At one point, it was, like you said, these were real people behind it that obviously wanted to be able to rank these films or to justify what was good and what wasn't.
Yeah,
Especially after the Siskel and Ebert um, era.
yeah. It used to mean something.
It really did.
And and then
Especially
it got sold, and then it got bought, and then it got sold again, and then it got bought.
right. Yeah. So there's a lot of politics behind it, but I do like the fact that they give an audience score because oftentimes if the Rotten Tomato score says one thing, but the audience score is much higher than the Rotten Tomato score, then I'll consider it. I'll say, okay, I'm still going to give it a chance because maybe the critics don't know what they're talking about. Maybe obviously if more people in the audience are enjoying this film, it's got to be good.
All
I
right.
will say for War of the Worlds, what they could have done to make it more interesting, it
Mhm.
could have still lived in the same timeline as the Tom Cruise film, but just
Oh,
from
that would
a
have been interesting.
perspective from another family or another,
That would have been very cool, because that would have been the Easter
yeah,
egg, right? And then you would have like seen Tom Cruise and seen little Dakota Fanning and been
or
like, "Oh my God,
something,
it's
or
like Unbreakable." It's like on the Unbreakable world when Split came out,
right,
and you were like, "Oh my God, it's Unbreakable."
right,
I don't know if
yeah.
you saw that.
I just really think that when you do a play on a film that's already been created, you just got to you got to think outside the box a little bit and think a little differently as to how can we how can we bring this movie back, but in a different way
Yeah.
that is interesting to people. More people, enough people want to watch it. I should have known how this movie was going to go. And this is no shade to the cast, obviously, or the people behind the film, but when they made reports that this film was coming, and I want to say it was being released the very next week, I was like, wow, that's kind of fast for it to not have been promoted at all. Um,
Mm,
when I talked about it, it had just hit press releases. The press releases had just been released,
yeah.
and maybe like a week,
But here's an
less
interesting thing. It says an
than weeks.
article by Collider. It says everyone is desperate to watch the worst movie of the decade.
That's what I'm telling you. They're tearing it up.
Dang.
They're tearing it up big time. They done turned Ice Cube into a meme on Twitter,
Oh,
on X.
that brother, he ain't
Um,
even stressing it, honey. He's gonna take that check.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I'm sure he did it. He got paid. Eva Longoria is in this too.
She's the
The video.
NASA girl. She's like the NASA weather person. I'm gonna watch
Okay.
it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
contribute to the madness. I'm gonna watch it. I'll text you later. All right, man. It was good to see you. What are we gonna talk
Yeah,
about
definitely.
next? What do I have to go see?
Up next we have Highest to Lowest, new Spike Lee film starring
Okay.
Denzel Washington.
Okay. I don't watch trailers, so I really don't often know what's going on.
Yeah,
Unless I read about it in the trades.
Brand new Spike Lee movie, Highest to Lowest, August 15th.
The Long
Stars
Walk. I want
Denzel.
to see that. The Stephen King movie. I don't know when
Definitely want
that's
to see
coming
The
out.
Long Walk. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Long Walk. I want to say in September.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of
Oh,
movies
September is
coming
like
out in
2 weeks.
September. Yeah. Right now, I'm just excited to see Highest to Lowest. This is the fifth movie that Spike Lee and Denzel Washington have done together.
What's your
It
favorite
stars.
that they've done together? I
Mm,
know mine
I really
immediately. I know mine immediately.
Inside Man,
That's it.
obviously.
That's
Yeah,
my favorite one.
Inside Man.
Yeah.
I do like Mo Better
Yeah.
Blues. Malcolm X.
Oh
Can't
God.
we can't forget
I mean,
Malcolm
I don't
X.
even feel like that's a movie. I feel like that's like an education.
I feel like everybody needs to watch
That
that
movie
film.
is like not even a movie. It really
Right.
isn't. I feel like it's a different category of thing.
Mhm. Yeah. And I'm just
God.
happy to see that Spike and Denzel are coming together again.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, we have Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. It's kind of like, they're
Magic
starting to
pairings.
paving the way for these combos, these magical combos of director and star that
Yes.
are exciting. And anytime Spike and Denzel have come together, they've made movie magic.
Totally.
Uh, so I can imagine how this film is going to be. It also stars Jeffrey Wright. I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
Jeffrey
he's
Wright.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's some other people in it. Uh, Ilfinesh Hadera is her name. She's on Godfather of Harlem.
Ooh, okay.
And then there's a couple rappers, ASAP Rocky and Ice
Mm-hmm.
Spice are in this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few other people that I'm failing to mention in this
That's
cast.
okay.
I want to say Wendell Pierce.
Love him.
Wendell
I
Pierce.
see
Yeah,
him in the neighborhood sometimes. He
he
does a
was
lot of
he was
Broadway.
in Thunderbolts. That's actually,
He was? I
he
saw
was
that.
he
Why
was
did I
in
remember?
when they did the council.
Maybe. It's already gone. All right. Well, I will see you on the other side.
Yes, let's do this again. Let's talk more films. Um, if there's anything else that comes up, we'll
We'll
definitely
just
talk
jump
about
on.
it.
We'll just jump on.
Yeah,
Because what
next
are we?
episode.
We're the Watchers, right? That's our
Yeah,
name.
right.
We're the
Yeah.
Watchers.
So if there's something that you guys want us to see, want us to watch and tune in and talk about, please let us know, and we'll make it a
We'll
point
make it
to.
happen.
Mhm.
All right. Bye,
So
Kev.
until then, see y'all later.